Greetings friends and welcome to the Den for the midweek video. So right as we get started, just a reminder tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, or 10 p.m. my time here in Atlantic Canada, it is the Canadian Mafia Show, the weekly show of Canadian shenanigans with me and other members of the Canadian Mafia. Tonight I'm the host, and you will find that at the Canadian Mafia Show on Instagram. Link in the description below. All right, so we'll get right into this. I was tagged by Johan over at Shave and Butcher in the I Wetshave tag, which was started by Jack at the Virtual Groomroom. And before I forget, I'm going to tag two people. And that way, if you guys don't want to watch the video, then you don't have to watch the video. You're tagged right up in front. That will be Dave Card and the Rusty Razor. I know Rusty has been in the game for quite a long time, so it's going to be interesting to hear his start and what has kept him in the hobby. So I'm going to use one of my favorite soaps, and that's right, it is the infamous First Canadian Shave motherfucker. Favorite soap in the den. That is, and that's not just because I picked the scent on this. It's just a gorgeous scent. You got citruses and fruits and salty sea air and a little bit of musk, woody notes. It's just great. And the brush we're going to use for the BBS.Live Boar Synthetic Week Round 2 is my MLS handcrafted brush by Maddie Lindholm with the 26 millimeter soft style knot from Megarts. Also be sure to check out BBS.Live with Nate Dogg and Melly Mel. That will be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern for the starting time. And alright, so we'll get just into loading this up. So why I started in wet shaving. That's kind of a two-folded question in a way. I'm going to talk about what got me started in wet shaving, and then I'm also going to touch on what has kept me in wet shaving, because those are two very different things, I think. And you know, this being a hobby, like many other hobbies, we get people that come and go. So there's definitely some things that, you know, keep a person invested in the hobby. So I'll start off with the what got me into wet shaving. Basically, what got me into wet shaving was it's back when I was on the road as a truck driver. Used to have but I had an electric razor or cartridge razors, and I only shaved about once a week. So I mean, there's part of a problem right there. You know, try to hack off a week's worth of growth with an electric razor or a cartridge razor. Not the best idea. And I just wasn't getting crappy shaves. And even if I was home and doing like a daily shave and every other day, I still wasn't getting the greatest shaves. I wasn't enjoying it. It was a chore. So I was already looking for alternatives, and you know, try to look for that next best, you know, cartridge razor. Just none of them are really ticking the boxes. And I seen that commercial for the Microtouch one with that Rick fella from Pawn Stars. I think a lot of us got into it when those commercials started. But anyway, I seen the commercial, and it kind of piqued my interest. And I was like, oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. It's probably a cool idea. So I started just doing research, you know, get on the old interwebs there, the old intergoogle, and started searching things, which led me to forums and like Badger and Blade, and started, you know, googling the Microtouch one, and people are like, yeah, it's kind of a cheap piece of crap razor, but this wet shaving is really a thing, and here's all these other razors. And I was like, oh well, holy crap. And that's really basically what started it. And then I just kind of dove in, and here we are 7 years later, still enjoying it. Into the straight razors now, which is something I said I would never get into. And I've been using those for about 6 years. It only took me Only took me a year in to dive into the dark side, and yeah, so just really been enjoying it, enjoying the shaves. You know, not only do I get great shaves, but I get to hang out and talk to great people all the time, which is just the most important part. For me at this point, this long into the hobby, the shaves are almost secondary to the friendships that I've made and the contacts that I've made within the community. So it's really been the community that has kept me in the wet shaving. So really, to answer the tag, is for better shaves was what got me into wet shaving. I didn't care about the money being spent or trying to save money, because I wasn't really spending any money. You know, I have my electric razor, bought the odd refill of carts now and again, so I wasn't spending a ton of money. And you know, after getting into Badger and Blade and spending, you know, more than a couple days in that form, you realized you were not really going to save much money at this hobby right off the bat. So you can kind of take care of that illusion right from the start. If you go into it open-minded, do a bit of research, you realize you're not going to save money. So then you just need to start looking at the other reasons why you want to wet shave, because they're more important. Not being said, you can save money at this if you go with the really frugal, way of doing it, and I'm sure lots do. But for most of us, it's not really about saving money. So it's been the community that has kept me in this hobby, and kept me invested in the community. Razor is going to be the Carve aluminum with the we got here the closed comb, or the safety bar, C-plate, 0.85 millimeter blade gap, 0.09 millimeters positive blade exposure, exposing a third use Wizamet blade, and this 4-inch handle weighs in at 40 grams. Back out of here, maybe. See if that'll focus on the razor. These aluminums come with the standard guilloche knurling. And so yeah, we'll get to shaving as I revel in the scent of this soap. I absolutely love it. So you know, it's been the community that's really kept me invested, kept me in the hobby, and then kept me kind of in the community, really, because it'd be easy to back away from, you know, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and just shave and live your life. But really, it's interacting with all the like-minded people in the community is that what really takes this hobby up a notch, because it really is a niche hobby. It is growing in numbers. We are gaining people, but it really is a niche hobby. But I've met so many nice people and so many awesome people in this community that it's really taken this, for me, from a hobby to a lifestyle more than anything. You know, nice shaves, hanging out with nice people is become more of a lifestyle than just a hobby, and quite literally a lifesaver. This part is going to be where it gets a little bit dark. I really didn't know if I wanted to talk about this on camera. There's not too many people that know this tidbit of information, but I think it's important to everybody to know just how much the community can be there for people if you need it. So, as many of you know, went through quite a rough patch starting about 3 years ago, and the hits just kept coming, and I was pretty much down and out. So that's all there is to say it. So I was I was looking for an out. I didn't really want to live that way, and you know, it's kind of tough to talk about. I just didn't want to live that way. I didn't want to deal with. I didn't really want to deal with the problems and the hassles and everything. So I was looking for a way out, and but luckily enough, every time I kind of thought about it, I would also think about my kids, my wife. It's like, well, if I do go down that road, who's gonna find me? It's gonna be one of my kids. It's gonna be my wife. And then I was like, well, I can't really put them through that. I don't want to do that to them. But then the feeling of just utter despair would start to kind of take over that. And then I would start to rationalize, it's like, oh, well, they're not, they'll get over it, whatever. But then lo and behold, then, a YouTube video would pop up, or a funny post, like a YouTube video from the wet tuber community, or, a post would pop up in one of the Facebook groups, or somebody would send me a messenger message out of the blue, and we'd be talking shit, laughing, joking, and carrying on. And then that would take my mind off it. And then, and then I would be putting out my own content, and people, seem to like the content I was putting out, in my own little space here in the wet tuber community. And that made me feel good. And then it made me feel like, I kind of do have a space in all this, despite everything that's going on. So then I kind of, pushed those thoughts out, and then decided to fight, and well, here we are. And happy to say I don't have those thoughts anymore. Just doing some buffing here. This is a very light razor, so just letting the weight of the razor do the work. I'm just going to do a little bit of extra buffing. Blade is nice and smooth though. It's cutting the 2 days growth, no problem. So anyway, yeah, that kind of got dark, but really it was, the community had a big part in the outcome of that. And it's such a great community. And once you get into the wet shaving community, you're in it. As long as you want to be in it and you're not a dink and you're a good person, there's always a place for everybody in the community, and that's one of the best things about it. And that being said, so based on that topic we just talked about, which hopefully we never have to have that discussion about that again, in the link below there is 2 numbers. If you are struggling, you need somebody to talk to, there is the Canadian and the American National Suicide Prevention Hotline numbers. So if you do need to talk to somebody, reach out to somebody there, or you can send me a PM and I'll talk to you. What a mood killer, eh? Anyway, so that's my take on it. That's really why I got into wet shaving, I guess, was just for better shaves. And it was the community that grabbed a hold of me and pulled me in, and has kept me invested in it. Has kept it interesting. Has kept it fun. And I mean, that itself is priceless. And that's what makes all of this so much fun, is, doing the YouTube, doing the Instagram shows, watching the Instagram shows, hanging out in the Facebook groups, all that stuff. It's a ton of fun, and I really do enjoy it. And I really do enjoy the time that I spend with each and every one of you guys, whether it's in the comment section here. Crap, I'm dropping stuff. Whether it's the comment section here, or on your guys' videos or on any other platforms. That's great. And I cherish each and every one of those connections and those friendships. Believe me, I really do. And so to cap off the shave, we're going to go with the Matching Splash. And this stuff is freaking incredible. It's got some great legs on it. This will last me all day long. It's a very nice shave. It's going to dry down to pretty much all BBS, I think. Oh yeah, very nice salty, citrusy pop right off the bat is what I get with this splash. And then for me, it dries down into like nice amber and woods as the dry down commences. Fantastic stuff. I'm gonna put this shit everywhere. I smell real good for the Canadianmafia Show tonight. Perfect. All right, well that is it for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. That was, you know, some happy stuff to talk about, some tough stuff to talk about. Kind of glad that's out there, I guess. A dirty little secret, and anyway, hopefully those demons don't come back to roost. But anyway, that's it for today. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Really appreciate the support. If you guys are watching these videos and you like what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. It also helps the aforementioned community grow. And the bigger we can get this wet shaving community, the better. So until next time, my friends, be safe, be kind to one another. Most importantly, have a great day and even better shave. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace. I love yous.